You have $1.5 million saved. You are 60 years old. And I need you to stop whatever you are doing right now and really hear what I'm about to tell you, because most people in your exact position are still going to run out of money. And the ones with 5 million? Some of them are already panicking. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand why the number in your account might be the least important thing about your retirement. Welcome back to Senior Pulse US. I'm glad you're here today because this one is going to hit different. Let me paint you a picture. Two neighbors, same street in suburban Ohio, both retire at 60. Dave has $1.5 million. Karen has $5 million. 5 years later, Dave is taking his wife on cruises, sleeping 8 hours a night, and hasn't touched his principal. Karen is stressed, arguing with her financial advisor every other week, and quietly wondering if she made a mistake retiring at all. How does that happen? How does the person with 3 times less money come out ahead? That is exactly what we are unpacking today. Let's start with Dave, because Dave represents millions of Americans right now who think they are behind. 1.5 million at 60 feels scary when you Google it. The internet will terrify you. Comment sections are brutal. People will tell you that you need at least 3 million just to survive. But here is what those people are not telling you. Context is everything in retirement math, and most retirement advice completely ignores it. Dave and his wife live in a mid-sized city in the Midwest. Their house is paid off. That is not a small detail, that is a massive detail. Their fixed monthly expenses sit around $3,200. They have no car payments. They have Medicare supplemental coverage that runs about $400 a month for both of them combined. Dave's wife collects Social Security of $1,400 a month, and Dave will start collecting at 62, pulling in about $1,900. So before Dave touches a single dollar of that $1.5 million, they have $3,300 coming in every month. Their gap, the difference between income and expenses, is less than $100. That portfolio? It barely has to work. It just has to sit there, grow quietly, and maybe chip in for the occasional big expense. At a conservative 4% withdrawal rate, Dave could pull $60,000 a year from that nest egg and still have money growing in the background. He is not broke. Dave is winning. Dave just didn't know it yet because he was too busy comparing himself to people with completely different lives. Now let's talk about Karen. $5 million sounds like the finish line. It sounds like the number where stress disappears. But Karen and her husband spend $11,000 a month. They have a second home in Florida they are still paying a mortgage on. They have a lifestyle they built over 30 years and have zero intention of scaling back. They have 3 adult kids who still need help occasionally, a wedding here, a down payment there. Their financial advisor has them in a moderate portfolio because Karen cannot stomach the idea of another 2008. Their real withdrawal rate, when you account for taxes, fees, and irregular big expenses, is closer to 6.5%. Actuaries will tell you that is a dangerous number over a 30-year retirement horizon. Karen's financial stress is not irrational. It is math. This is the thing nobody tells you when you are chasing a retirement number. The number means nothing without the denominator. 1.5 million divided by a lean, intentional lifestyle is abundance. 5 million divided by an expensive, unexamined one is anxiety on a spreadsheet. Here is where it gets even more real. The biggest retirement mistake Americans make at 60 is not undersaving. It is failing to define what they actually want retirement to look like before they price it out. Most people spend 40 years building wealth and maybe 4 hours actually thinking about what they will do with their days. And then they retire and discover that golf gets old, the kids are busy, the house feels too quiet, and their identity was completely wrapped up in their career. That is a spending problem waiting to happen. Boredom is expensive. Purposelessness is expensive. And no portfolio, not 1.5 million, not 5 million, not 10 million, protects you from that. So let's talk about what actually protects you. The retirees I've studied read about, and spoken to who genuinely thrive. And I mean the ones who look you in the eye at 72 and tell you these are the best years of their life. They share a few things in common that have nothing to do with their account balance. First, they know their real number, not some figure they found on a financial planning website. Their actual monthly burn rate, written down, categorized, understood. They know the difference between fixed expenses and discretionary spending, and they are honest about which category their lifestyle falls into. Second, they have multiple income streams. Social Security is the floor, not the plan. Many of them have a small rental property, a part-time consulting gig doing something they actually enjoy, dividend income, or a pension from a previous employer. They are not dependent on one lever. Third, and this one might surprise you, they stayed slightly active, not working themselves to death. But a part-time job, 10 to 15 hours a week, a small business, freelance work, it does two things that money alone cannot do. It provides structure, and it provides purpose. And research coming out of major universities over the last decade is incredibly consistent on this point. Purposeful engagement in retirement is one of the strongest predictors of both mental and physical health outcomes as we age. Now, I want to address something directly, because I know some of you watching right now are sitting on less than 1.5 million and you are spiraling a little bit. Stop. Seriously, take a breath. Social Security alone for a couple who both worked can be anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 a month. If you own your home free and clear, your lifestyle expenses collapse significantly compared to renters. If your health is managed and your insurance is solid, your biggest wildcard, medical costs, becomes much more predictable. The conversation about retirement readiness in America is almost always framed around massive lump sums, and it leaves tens of millions of working people feeling like failures before they have even started the race. You are not behind. You might just be using the wrong measuring stick. At 60, you have one enormous asset that does not show up on any balance sheet: time. Time to optimize Social Security timing. Time to pay down any remaining debt. Time to right-size your living situation. Time to build a retirement income plan that is built for your life, not someone else's fantasy version of retirement that costs $11,000 a month to maintain. 1.5 million at 60, with a paid-off home and a clear-eyed spending plan, is more than enough for most Americans to retire comfortably and never run out of money. 5 million with an unchecked lifestyle and no real purpose is a slow-motion anxiety attack. The scoreboard in retirement is not how much you saved. It is how many mornings you wake up without dread. It is how often you laugh. It is whether your money is working for you or whether you are still working for it. That is what we talk about here on Senior Pulse US. The real stuff, the honest math, the conversations your financial advisor might not be having with you. If this hit home for you today, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And if you are not subscribed yet, join the Senior Pulse US family right now, because we drop content like this every single week. Drop your age and your biggest retirement question down in the comments. I read every single one. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself.